Have you ever watched a tragedy unfold right in front of you, feeling your heart pound in your chest, yet your feet remained glued to the floor? You were surrounded by people, but you have never felt more paralyzed and utterly alone in your silence. If you want to understand the invisible strings that control your actions and find your way back to your true self, consider subscribing to the Psyche Unfolding channel. We carry a heavy unspoken secret, you and I. It is a secret born in crowded spaces, on busy sidewalks, and in bustling rooms where hundreds of eyes see everything, yet nobody moves a muscle. You know this feeling intimately. You are walking down a street, perhaps just a few meters away from a crosswalk, when you hear a sudden, sharp sound. A cry for help. A person falling. Someone shrinking into themselves, clearly overwhelmed by an invisible storm. Your first instinct, the raw and beautiful human core of you, screams at you to step forward. Your muscles tense. Your breath catches in your throat. The adrenaline floods your veins. You are completely ready to reach out and offer your hand. But then an insidious shadow creeps in. It is not a fear of the danger itself, but a creeping, suffocating hesitation. You look around. You see 5, 10, maybe 50 other people witnessing the exact same fragile moment. And nobody is doing anything. They are just walking by, their faces deliberately blank, their eyes carefully avoiding the epicenter of the distress. In that split second, a chilling paralysis takes over your physical body. It is as if an invisible, heavily weighted blanket has been thrown over the entire crowd, suffocating your individual will. Your palms start to sweat. You start to doubt your own deeply held senses. You tell yourself that if this were truly an emergency, surely someone else would have stepped in by now. Someone older, someone wiser, someone who looks more capable or authoritative. You aggressively convince yourself that perhaps you are misreading the entire situation. Maybe the person does not want help. Maybe stepping forward would only cause awkwardness or profound embarrassment for everyone involved. So you lower your eyes to the pavement. You nervously adjust the strap of your bag. You keep walking. You blend your footsteps back into the river of anonymous faces, matching their steady, undisturbed pace, desperate to erase yourself from the scene. But I know exactly what happens next. I know what happens when you finally reach the quiet sanctuary of your own room and the outside noise fades away. The silence of the evening settles in, and the guilt arrives like a dark, uninvited guest. It sits heavy and cold on your chest. You replay the scene in your mind, over and over again, endlessly dissecting every single fraction of a second of your hesitation. You ask yourself a terrifying, haunting question in the dark. Am I a coward? Am I fundamentally a bad person? How could I just stand there like a lifeless mannequin in a storefront window, while a fellow human being was suffering just a few meters away from me. The shame burns hot in the back of your throat. It is a deeply isolating pain, a silent, heavy burden you carry in your invisible backpack, adding exhausting weight to your steps every single day. You feel entirely alone in this perceived moral failure, deeply convinced that you are broken in a way that others are not. I want you to pause right here. I want you to listen to me very carefully and let these words wrap around that cold, aching part of your heart. You are not a bad person. You are not broken, and you are absolutely not a coward. What you experienced in that crowded street was not a failure of your morality or a flaw in your character. It was a deeply ingrained mechanism pulling you into a powerful collective trance. It is a phenomenon I have observed and pondered time and time again, a quiet tragedy of the human mind that effortlessly traps even the most gentle and compassionate souls. I call it the illusion of the shared burden. Imagine a massive, rough stone placed right in the middle of a dusty, unpaved road. If you were walking down that road, utterly alone, with kilometers of empty, silent fields stretching out in every possible direction, and you see that stone blocking your path, you know exactly what you must do. The weight of responsibility rests entirely and squarely on your shoulders. There is no one else to look to for guidance, no one else to share the physical load. You know you must step forward, wrap your hands around the cold stone, and push it out of the way. But now, imagine placing 100 people on that exact same stretch of road. The physical weight of the stone remains exactly the same, but the invisible, psychological weight of responsibility shatters. It fractures into 100 tiny, microscopic splinters. When responsibility is divided by a crowd, it becomes completely weightless. No single person feels the pressure to act. You are all silently waiting for the person next to you to make the first move, entirely unaware that the person next to you is waiting for you to do the exact same thing. We are deeply social creatures, naturally wired to scan our environment for social cues. When we are unsure of what to do, we observe the flock. It is like wandering into an endless, dizzying hall of mirrors. You look at the person to your left to gauge their emotional reaction, trying desperately to figure out if you should be alarmed. But they are completely still, because they are looking at the person to their right, who is looking at someone else entirely. Everyone is merely reflecting everyone else's manufactured calm. Our minds whisper a dangerous lie to us. They say if no one is panicking, then there must be no valid reason to panic. We become permanently trapped in a silent agreement of apathy. We turn the world into a frozen theatre, where everyone mistakenly believes they are just a passive member of the audience, patiently waiting for the real actors to take the stage and resolve the conflict. But there are no actors waiting in the wings. There is only us. And the ultimate tragedy is that the larger the crowd becomes, the thicker and more impenetrable the fog of this illusion grows. This realization changes everything about how you view yourself and the world. The very moment you truly understand the hidden mechanics of this invisible trap, you instantly hold the key to dismantling it. You no longer have to be a helpless, drifting passenger in the vehicle of the crowd. You can choose to calmly take the steering wheel. I want you to take a deep, slow breath right now. Feel your lungs expand. As you exhale, let the heavy, suffocating guilt of all your past hesitation slide right off your shoulders. Let it fall completely to the floor and shatter. It no longer serves you. You cannot blame yourself for not navigating a maze you did not even know you were trapped in. You were caught in a web, completely blind to the strings. But now your eyes are wide open. Before we talk about exactly how you will step into your newfound clarity, I want to invite you into our safe space. If these reflections are lifting a heavy weight off your soul and bringing you peace, please subscribe to the Psyche Unfolding channel so we can keep unraveling these quiet, beautiful mysteries of the mind together. The most beautiful, liberating truth is that breaking this powerful collective trance does not require you to be fearless. It absolutely does not require you to be a larger-than-life, invincible hero who blindly rushes into roaring fires. It only requires you to be the very first person to blink. But finally standing still, when you inevitably find yourself in that crowded, bustling space again, and you feel that sudden, chilling drop in the atmosphere when something goes wrong, you will notice the heavy blanket descending over the crowd. You will physically feel the magnetic, almost overwhelming pull to simply look away, to blend in, to surrender your agency and become just another ghost in the machine. But this time, everything will be different. You will recognize the fog. You will clearly see the invisible strings actively trying to attach themselves to your wrists. And this time, you will gently, calmly cut those strings. You do not need to make a grand cinematic gesture. You just need to take one single, deliberate step forward. The exact moment you move your foot, the moment your voice softly breaks the thick collective silence to ask a simple, human question like, "Are you okay?" Something truly miraculous happens to the atmosphere around you. You shatter the mirrors. Your single grounded action pierces through the suffocating fog of shared hesitation like a brilliant lighthouse cutting through a violent, stormy sea. Because here is the profound secret that no one ever tells you about crowds. Just as easily as they are deeply infected by apathy, they are secretly, desperately yearning to be infected by action. Deep down beneath their blank expressions, every single person in that frozen crowd is experiencing the exact same internal agony and conflict as you. Their hearts are pounding wildly in their chests. They are silently, desperately begging for someone, anyone, to step forward and give them permission to care. When you take that first step, you instantly become that permission. you completely release the spell binding them. Suddenly, the person who was desperately looking away turns back with relief. The person who was quickly walking past stops immediately to help you lift the burden. By simply refusing to be a captive bystander, you instantly transform a group of paralyzed, frightened strangers into a warm, connected community of helpers. So, I want you to completely forgive yourself for all the times you stood still in the past. The past is a dark, closed room, and you do not live there anymore. You are standing fully in the warm light of awareness now. Feel the immense, soothing relief washing over your entire body, like a gentle, warm breeze clearing away the heavy morning mist from a dark forest path. Feel the tension leaving your neck, your shoulders dropping, your breathing becoming slow and deep. The heavy, exhausting backpack of shame you have been carrying for so long is finally gone. You have set it down on the side of the road, and you are walking away from it. You are completely free. You walk through this world not as a frightened, passive observer, but as an active, breathing, powerful force of compassion. The very next time the crowd freezes and the silence takes over, you will feel a profound, unshakable quiet peace blooming in your chest. You will smile softly at the temporary illusion of the shared burden, and with a wonderfully light heart, you will gracefully be the one to step forward.